JoJo's Daily Dose, episode 10, coming in hot in 29 degrees. Holy guac. And funnily enough, today's inspiration is all about lightening up. You know, we tend to take our personal journey, we tend to take our life and all of its aspects so effing seriously that to the point where it constricts our energy. And it's not really helping in any way. And I tell you what, if you do get too serious about it and you do get too sort of like stuck in your own declaration of goals, whether it's personal goals, business goals, relationship goals, all of that stuff, and you're like really coming at it from a very linear perspective, essentially, you know, that means that you aren't making any space for the divine intelligence. Divine intelligence is actually really funny, very light-hearted, and just very liberating. And so, funny story, when I was down in the East Cape of the North Island about 2 years ago, in 2022 I think it was, and it was a big energy gateway, it was like a portal 666 or something, not the devil's number, and I was down there doing a whole thing, trying to see spaceships, you know, in my jam, my general kind of thing, and this big galactic gateway that's down there, and anyway, I'd done days of the stuff, and I was having all these kundalini activations to the point where the local dog where I was staying at this like little Airbnb place was humping my leg every 5 seconds. But anyway, I had been trying to get to this beautiful ancient Pōtakawa tree. And it's very, very ancient, like one of the oldest ones in New Zealand, essentially. And this Pōtakawa tree, I seemed to just not sort of have the time, or the weather changed or whatever. It was like a comedy of errors trying to get to this tree, basically. And anyway, so I pull up and go to the bathrooms first to get myself all set up, because I'm like, I'm dropping into meditation, get real serious about this work, and like, you know, got all my bits and pieces. I'm going to park up there for a good hour and get into it. And this camper van pulls up at the same time and gives a wave, and I give a wave like a friendly tourist, and then go down the road a couple of minutes to the beautiful Pōtakawa tree. It's a grandfather tree, super sacred, super special, and a tourist site, like it's a notable site in that area that people visit, right? And so I'm just dropping, I've got my meditation blanket that I'm sitting in and have over me because it's cold. I've got my singing bowl, I've got my crystal in one hand, I've got my journal and pen. I'm real serious about this whole thing, right? And so I drop into meditation, and then I sort of hear a car pull up. And I'm aware that I'm in like a public site and all that kind of stuff. So, and anyway, this guy gets out, and it's the camper van from back at the bathrooms. And he's like, oh, you know, do you mind some company? And I was like, sure. I mean, it's a free country, right? This is a free site. Like, I can't take it all to myself. So I'm like, yeah, sure. And then, you know, he sort of comes up and he's sort of standing there semi sort of weirdly, but, and then he said, oh, so casually asked if I like to play. And I'm like, excuse me? And then I awkwardly go, well, you know, I've got my singing bowl and my crystals and my journal here, and, you know, I'm playing in the energies. Meanwhile, he, like, basically thinks that I am parked up to literally have random sex outside in some kind of dogging situation on my freaking meditation blanket. I mean, I was trying to be polite, and he's like, well, you said you want company. And I'm like, what? To like park up and have a shag under the sacred tree outside of my meditation blanket? I mean, honestly, I was like in shock. And then some exceptionally awkward conversation continued before I was just like, I gotta get rid of this guy. And so before he finally left, and like, he was in it was just absolutely no way that was where I was at with this guy. And I mean, it couldn't have been any more funny, really, right? And then after he left, I literally heard the tree laughing. I could hear the tree laughing and just saying, yeah, you needed to lighten the hell up. Like, you're taking everything way too seriously. And as soon as that happened, and I'm laughing at myself, the tree's laughing at me, the whole thing was just so comedic that then the energy started to really flow in another level. And more synchronicity showed up, and guidance and connections, and my frequency was elevated, and it was just hilarious, right? So that is the offshoot of lightening up, not taking everything so damn seriously. Like, sometimes people comment on some memes I post in such seriousness. It's like, okay, it was just meant as a joke. And everything I've done has always been comedy of errors style. Like, that's kind of who I am. And it's when I get out of that, I think it's who all of we are, because we're all source energy. We've got the levity, it's got humor to it. It's got this levity, you know, that is naturally a part of it. And so when we drop out of that into the depths of seriousness and just getting really, like, you know, hardcore about life, like, it just works against us. So that's my daily dose for today. Lighten the F up and then see what happens. What have you got to lighten up in your own life? Or what could you lighten up today? Tell me. Okay. Mwah. See you tomorrow. Ciao.